Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session with Magnus Corfitzen, the CEO of Ascelia Pharma. Welcome, Magnus.
Thank you, Klaus.
And today we're going to focus on your latest data on the Sparkle study. You came out with a press release Friday afternoon. So now you enrolled all your patients in the study, Magnus. Could you elaborate a little on that and also briefly touch upon the primary and secondary endpoints for the Sparkle study?
Yeah, thank you, Klaus. Yeah, it was a major milestone that we met and released a press release on Friday last week, where we, you could say, could announce that we met the enrollment target of 80 patients in Sparkle, which is the required step for being able to analyze the data to assess is the study successful or not. So the 80 patients have now been enrolled. As we said, a few more might be coming into the study that have already been consented, so they've been, you could say, promised to participate. We will, of course, involve them. And then once the last patients have been enrolled, we will be able to have the evaluation start, and this is a little different from a medical imaging study and a regular trial. In the medical imaging study, the data will be evaluated by 3 independent radiologists, and their evaluation will determine whether we meet the primary endpoint or not. So in a regular study, you may have, you would say, the patient lab data already when the last visit has been conducted, but it takes a little bit longer in medical imaging study. So we expect to have result from the independent radiologists and have done the statistical analysis and quality control in the middle of the year, which will be the primary endpoint, which will be hugely interesting to assess whether it's a successful study or not.
Thanks a lot, Magnus. And what happens then if we expect good data, and I know you have shown good data along the line, then you are ready for launch. Could you elaborate a little on that, what we should wait for then?
Yeah, exactly. And as you alluded to, we have good data from previous studies on a similar 20-patient study. We, on the same endpoint, same evaluation methodology by 3 independent radiologists, we achieved statistical significant effect with Orviglance versus the unenhanced. And in our phase 3, we have 80 plus patients, and we will have same endpoint, same setup with 3 independent radiologists, and then we need to, you could say, replicate that result, success in the phase 2 in 4 times as many patients. So it's a more heterogeneous patient population, but still we are optimistic about a positive outcome. Obviously, with a positive outcome on the primary endpoint, that is a key component for successful registration of the drug. But there's also a battery of secondary endpoints, and what is the usual process is that you have that data and you have a meeting with the FDA to discuss, the results and the strategy for how to put the new drug application, the NDA, together, which is the filing of roughly 700 documents plus all the appendices that you will submit, that a company will submit to the FDA. So it's a good idea always to align with the regulator. What is it we will intend to show you, and then get their feedback. And if they have a different perspective, then of course we need to accommodate that. I mean, that's how our development strategies is based on, building our own strategy, but interacting with the regulators and listening to their feedback.
Good. Thanks a lot, Magnus. And you got an orphan drug designation from FDA. Why is that so important?
It's important for several different reasons. One is that by having the orphan drug designation from the FDA, it shows that the FDA agrees that this is a rare patient population where there are special unmet medical needs. And it's also for a serious disease. So Orviglance is helping patients with, you could say, inadequate treatment or diagnostic options today. And Orviglance can hopefully make a significant difference to them. The benefit of the orphan drug status is that the FDA will, in their review, consider that this is a rare patient population, which means that it is more difficult to conduct clinical trials. And obviously the data, regardless of orphan drug status, you need to have compelling efficacy and safety. But that assessment should be made in the context of this is a rare disease. On top of that, there are some tax benefits. There are also some, I would say there could be some benefits in certain discussions with payers in terms of their data requirement for pricing and access. But also, at least historically, there have been some good examples of that. But it's also, there's you could say a market exclusivity. So from the date of Orviglance approval, then for a period of 7 years, which can possibly be extended by 6 months, but during that period, the FDA will not review or you could say approve a similar product for the same indication, which will obviously give us a good opportunity to make Orviglance the product of choice for this patient population, and you would say generate a good return on investment on the R&D that we have done.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's very important information, I think, for the viewers to dive into. And then last but not least, could you briefly comment on the market potential for Orviglance, Magnus? You have made that statement before, but just elaborate a little on the market potential.
Yeah, so I mean, there are millions and millions of scans being performed in patients around the world, and we address a small subset of that. But even a small subset in millions and millions of scans is a quite sizable volume. And for these patients, our market research shows that the majority of those are getting an unenhanced MRI procedure. So it's something where there is compromise in terms of efficacy, where the trade-off there is that they don't want to risk exposing the patients to the gadolinium products that are currently out there. By having hopefully a safe and effective Orviglance that is approved on the market, this trade-off need not to be for these patients. They can have a safe and effective product, and we think that's a very compelling option for those patients. The addressable market in US, Europe, and Japan is $500 to $600 million. That is a very sizable opportunity, and Orviglance will be the only product approved specifically for this patient population. So we think that is a very attractive commercial opportunity. We will target the US market on our own. We will work with different suppliers and have set up so we build only the most critical and most important activities, and then for a good deal of, you would say, the logistics and other parts, we will outsource that. In other geographies, we will find commercial partners that can help bring the product to the patients. But as a small company, we need to focus our resources on where we get the best return, and that is the US market.
Interesting. Thanks a lot, Magnus, and great to have you live here to explain the outcome of the latest announcement. So with that said, I hope you have a very nice day, and thanks a lot for participating, Magnus.
Yeah, thanks, Klaus. Always a pleasure.